Hi, I'm Gunner Gillett with Head Snaps and Headgear. I just got back from Run with the Roseland 93. I had a great time watching the fights. Thanks to Kevin Keeney and Bridge City Fight Shop for letting me cover the press conferences leading up to the event. An undercard fight at 137 featured KJ Smith and Jorge Lopez. KJ Smith was a 47-year-old who made his MMA debut. Jorge Lopez led the fight the entire time, but KJ Smith did not quit. Lopez dazed Smith in the first round, the second round, and the third round, but KJ Smith showed definite grit and the crowd agreed. Two judges scored the three-round bout 30-24, and another judge scored it 30-25 in the favor of Jorge Lopez, who came out with the win. Micah Mitchell and James Rosenweig Jr. squared off in a 155-pound bout. Mitchell and Rosenweig had squared off previously in a kickboxing and a Thai boxing fight. They were both 1-1 against each other, so they decided to settle it in the slammer. Micah Mitchell ended up submitting his opponent in the third round and took home the hardware and won the series. Johnny James and Saul Gallegos Ruiz faced off in a 175-pound super fight. Johnny James wasted no time and delivered a straight kick right to Saul Gallegos Ruiz's head. It dropped him and dazed him and got a great reaction from the crowd. Saul Gallegos was talking trash during the fight, which seemed to motivate Johnny James as he began to run after him in the second and third round. Johnny James delivered a monstrous overhand right that knocked out Saul Gallegos Ruiz in the third round. James walked out of the cage victorious with a belt around his waist. In a 146-pound super fight, Dylan Grell and Gunnar Metzger squared off. In the third round, Gunnar Metzger tried to set up an armbar, but it appeared to me that he never actually had the armbar. The referee claims that Dylan Grell tapped, but he says otherwise, and same with his corner. Regardless of whether Dylan Grell tapped or not, I think the fight still would have been scored in Gunnar Metzger's favor. But he walked out with a win and the belt. KHJ fighter Casey McBride made her MMA debut against Surya, and I'm not even going to attempt to say her last name. But anyway, Casey McBride finished her in the first round with an explosive right hand and a ground and pound. Walking back to the center for the final decision, Surya still seemed a bit dazed, and Casey McBride walked out of the ring victorious. For the 125-pound championship, Dominick, Abalos, and Isaiah Garza squared off. The fight spent most of the time on the ground with some impressive grappling from both sides. Isaiah Garza picked up Dominick Abalos from his open guard and slammed him right back down to the mat. Midway through the third round, Dominick Abalos secured a guillotine choke in which he set up from open guard. Isaiah Garza ended up tapping out, and Dominick Abalos walked out of there with the championship belt around his waist. And now, for the main event of the evening. We had Dylan the Bull Atkinson face off against Cris Sunshine Williams for a professional fight in the FCFF. Many people thought this was going to be a very close back-and-forth fight that would go all 3 rounds. But I tell you folks, it did not. Dylan Atkinson caught Cris Williams' leg kick and finished him with a double. That actually led in to Cris Williams' guillotine choke that it took him a while to completely lock in, but he ended up getting the submission, and Sunshine Williams backs up his mouth once again. In a shocking show of sportsmanship, Cris Williams and Dylan Atkinson ended up shaking hands afterwards. As for the post-fight press conference, I was limited to watching from afar as it was held in a bar. And as you know, I'm only 12, so I can't really go in a bar. But now, here's some highlights that my mom filmed for you.
Off for Cris, you keep winning, you keep doing what you say you're going to do, coming out, getting stoppage victories. What do you do going forward to live up to the hype? How do you get, more excited?
There's no way to get more excited. I love this sport, man. Every day I wake up and people are like, oh man, I gotta go do this, I gotta do that. And I think, I get to do this. I get to do that. I can't top it. It's awesome. It's unbelievable. You do what you love what you do.
Wonderful. And Dylan, a tough loss, but was anything about the fight surprising to you? Did you expect Cris to be as strong as he was with the squeeze?
It was surprising that I got my arm spot there, but no, it was a good submission. I was expecting him to try and pull off some sort of guillotine variation out of my last double. He did. So hats off to him.
He tapped my jaw 1-3 times and he hit hard.
Yeah.
If Nathan Smith, if you're still in the building, nothing but respect for you, man. Nothing but respect for you, 100%.
Well, I know head snaps and headgear has David, could you walk that mic back to me?
Cris, was that the delicate submission that you were looking for?
Hey Gunner, how you doing? It's a little late right now. It's a little late right now. What are you doing up right now? You kidding me? It was a good submission. I really appreciate everybody for coming, and I'm glad that it's over. We don't gotta yell at each other and all this other stuff and bump heads. It's really fun. So, I like you, Gunner.
Johnny, Saul was talking trash during the fight. What was going through your mind there?
I didn't know if he was serious. He kind of took me by surprise, but I liked it, you know, kind of put a fire to my behind. And, you know, I appreciate him taking the fight. I appreciate, you know, him putting on the performance that he did. He's a tough guy. I mean, he fought a lot of good fighters. And, you know, I have nothing but respect for him.
I want to know, I mean, I know you're very disappointed about your opponent dropping out, but, you know, going forward, like, how do you ensure that you're going to be able to get fights? Are you willing to take fights at a different weight if that's what it takes?
Overschedule myself. I mean, I do respect Sunshine. At the end of the day, he has won 11 fights in 17 months or something like that. So I give him his respect. I don't look up to him because he's not somebody that you should look up to necessarily, but I do respect him as a fighter. And if he's fighting every 2 months and he's not getting injured, why can't I do it? I mean, I'm the best. No offense to Dominick, he's about to go pro. I love him too. But hey, at the end of the day, I'm the best amateur 125-pounder. I know it, and I'm ready to prove it. So I'm gonna start overbooking myself. I'll start fighting every 2 months because if these guys don't want to show up, that's what you gotta do.
You came into the fight a little bit of an underdog, and then you got the submission. Was the submission something you were looking for, or did it just come in?
I just try to take whatever is there. Technically, I want to go for a knockout. That's what I want. I want the crowd to just go crazy and roar. That's what I want. I never got to let loose. The first and second round, it just came out light. I wanted to put up a war out there, but I didn't want to gas myself out at the same time. So, yeah.
Are you any disappointed that you didn't get the knockout, or are you just happy you're the champ?
I'm happy. I'm happy with my win, but the knockout would have been better.
So, do you prepare for your opponent's obvious weaknesses, or do you exploit them and get in the cage and recognize them?
You know, hats off to him, man. He came in there and he threw down. I'm not gonna sit here. I mean, I won, right? I don't have to talk much more. And real talk, Dylan, I'm not even opening up a gym, man. I just, you know, I love to steal people's thunder, dude. That's like my thing. Ever since I was little, I like to just like make up like that. And then tell them later, obviously, but yeah, all that aside, I'm not opening up a gym, man. And you know what? I saw an opportunity and I clamped on it, dude. When I got my blue belt, I got this alligator or crocodile. I don't know. I was pretty drunk. But I love it, right? Because it's like a blue belt. As blue belts, we get a submission, we don't let it go, dude. We're clamping on that thing. That's fun fighting, man. Dylan's really tough. I'm hungry, man. You said bacon cheeseburger. Now I can't stop thinking about it, bro. And he smells so good. He said his cologne was like serendipity or something like that. It was so good. I'm so ready to get out of here. I don't care if it's a woman's perfume. It smells great.
All in all, it was another great event for the FCFF. My future wife and UFC fighter Paige Van Zandt was in attendance. We saw knockouts, submissions, and 3-round fights, everything. I tell you folks, if you haven't been to one of these events, you don't know what you're missing. That's all for this installment of Head Snaps and Headgear. I'd like to thank my sponsor, WrestleOlogy. Get your WrestleOlogy gear at WrestleOlogy.net. And I'm Gunner Gillett, telling you to snap that head and throw on some headgear.
Thank you, WrestleOlogy! We call that wrestler swag. To us, that's wrestler swag.
So I need all the people with wrestler swag. Step up on the mat. Get down to this one.